There are great shooters. There are NBA superstars. And then there's Steph Curry, a player so dangerous, so ridiculous, that entire defenses panic the moment he crosses half court. Not the three-point line, half court. And on this night, basketball stopped making sense. Because what Steph Curry did wasn't normal. It wasn't smart. It wasn't supposed to work. But somehow, it did. Again. This was the night the NBA realized something terrifying. The game had changed forever. And the man responsible was a 6'2" point guard who looked more like a regular fan than the greatest shooter in basketball history. Defenders trapped him, double-teamed him, picked him up 35 feet from the basket. And none of it mattered. Because once Steph Curry catches fire, the laws of basketball disappear. Tonight, we break down the night Steph Curry broke basketball again.
Before Steph Curry, basketball had rules. Big men controlled the paint. Mid-range shots dominated offense. Coaches hated deep threes. And if you pulled up from the logo, you were getting benched immediately. The perfect shot was supposed to be near the rim, not from another zip code. Then Curry arrived and destroyed decades of basketball logic. At first, nobody took it seriously. Sure, he could shoot, but NBA analysts thought it was a gimmick. Too small, too fragile, can't build a championship team around a shooter. Then, suddenly, everything changed. The impossible shots started becoming normal. 30-footers became routine. Fast breaks turned into logo threes. And somehow, the crazier the shot, the more confident Curry looked. That's when the NBA realized Steph wasn't just a great player, he was a basketball revolution.
The arena already felt different that night. Fans weren't sitting comfortably, they were expecting something. Every time Steph touched a ball, the crowd buzzed, because deep down, everyone knew they might witness history. First quarter, Curry dribbles casually across half court, defender waiting at the three-point line. Big mistake. Steph stops, pulls up from way beyond range. Bang! Crowd explodes. Commentators screaming. Opposing coach furious. And Steph? He just jogs back, smiling, like it was nothing. That's the scary part about Curry. He normalized insanity. Most players celebrate after impossible shots. Steph acts bored. Then he does it again. Transition possession, no setup, no hesitation, pull up from 32 feet, splash. At this point, defenders start panicking, not adjusting, panicking, because traditional defense no longer works. You can't guard someone who breaks geometry.
This is where basketball officially broke. Because Curry wasn't just making shots, he was bending defenses into chaos. Watch what starts happening. One defender picks him up at half court. Another shades toward him. A third defender leaves his assignment entirely just to watch Curry. Think about that. One player was controlling 5 defenders without touching the paint. That should be impossible. But Steph Curry changed spacing forever. The moment Curry crossed half court, the entire defense shifted. And when defenses panic, mistakes happen. Wide open dunks, corner threes, easy layups. The Warriors' offense became unstoppable because Curry's gravity was unlike anything basketball had ever seen. Not LeBron, not Jordan, not Kobe. Nobody warped the floor like this. Steph Curry turned fear into strategy. Then came the shot, the one that made commentators lose their minds. Tie game, clock winding down, arena shaking. Everyone expecting Curry to create a normal play. But Steph Curry doesn't think like normal players. He crosses half court, hesitates, defender backing up desperately, and then he pulls from the logo. No screen, no rhythm dribble, just pure chaos. The ball flies through the air, crowd frozen, players watching. Then, splash. Pandemonium. Absolute pandemonium. Teammates screaming, fans losing control, commentators yelling legendary calls, and Curry shimmying, smiling,
walking away like a supervillain who already knew the ending. That shot wasn't just disrespectful. It changed basketball psychology forever. Because after Curry, young players everywhere started believing those shots were possible. And suddenly, they were. After Steph Curry, the NBA transformed completely. Centers started learning three-point shooting. Teams prioritized spacing over size. Kids stopped practicing mid-range jumpers and started launching from deep. Entire offenses were rebuilt around shooting. The numbers proved it too. Three-point attempts exploded across the league, and every coach had the same fear. What happens if another Steph Curry appears? Because there was no answer for him. You couldn't block his shot consistently. You couldn't trap him forever. And if you doubled him, someone else got open. Curry forced basketball to evolve, whether teams wanted to or not. That's why this wasn't just a legendary performance. It was a warning. Basketball would never go back to normal again. Years from now, people will still talk about Steph Curry like a myth. The player who made impossible shots feel routine. The superstar who changed basketball without being the tallest, strongest, or fastest player on the floor. Because greatness isn't always about power. Sometimes it's about changing how the world thinks. And that's exactly what Steph Curry did. He changed what players believed was possible. He changed how defenses worked, how offenses were built, how kids practiced basketball. And on that unforgettable night, he reminded the NBA of one terrifying truth. The moment Steph Curry gets hot, basketball stops making sense. And maybe that's the craziest part of all. We've seen it happen so many times, and it still feels impossible. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Stadium Roars for more NBA stories, legendary moments, and basketball breakdowns. And tell me in the comments, what's the most ridiculous Steph Curry shot you've ever seen? Because honestly, there are too many to count.